You good, Jared?
Yeah, what up, bro?
All right. What up? What is it? Renaud? Is it Renaud? How do you
That's
say
close
that?
enough. That's close enough. Rinald, but yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right. Who you going for? Cause you new to my panel. What who you going for? Where you from?
I'd rather keep where I'm from, kind of private. I'm
Okay,
kind of touchy about certain people.
East.
I'm from the
All right,
east. I'm
East.
from the east.
Okay, cool. That's cool enough.
And
And
I'm pretty firmly voting for Harris.
and why is that? Or do you own your own business, or you just working a 9 to 5, or what
Uh,
on the aspect why are you voting for her? Because like most business owners love Trump, and most people that work a 9 to 5, they're voting for Harris. Some people, not everybody.
it's because I really like the morals and the foundations of this country, and I don't think that Donald Trump respects any of them.
You know the morals
What
of
morals
this
are you talking
country.
about?
Yeah.
The
Explain to us.
the morals I'm talking about is that we will get to vote for whoever we think should be the president, and Donald Trump tried to overturn the results of the 2020 election unfairly.
You try to overturn them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So his campaign assembled slates of electors that were not certified by the state, and they tried to transmit them to the counting session on January 6th, and they tried to pressure the vice president to unilaterally pick his electors instead of the state certified ones.
so he can't. Trump is not allowed to think that there was fraud in the election.
He's completely allowed to think that there was fraud in the election. He's allowed to challenge the election. He's just not allowed to try and pressure his vice president to break federal law to overturn the election in his favor.
Yeah, I don't know what law.
The Electoral Count Act. Because the Electoral Count Act is the thing that lays out the process by which we count the electoral votes. And Donald Trump and his lawyer, John Eastman, sent Donald Trump and his campaign a memo called the Eastman Memo. And in that memo, it openly says that they would diverge from the processes laid out in the Electoral Count Act, which is, by extension, breaking the Electoral Count Act, which is a federal law. It was on the grounds that the Supreme Court would later find that the Electoral Count Act is unconstitutional, but you can't break a law and then assume that it's going to be found unconstitutional later. That's not legally backed at all. What he laid out was illegal, and this is why he was indicted both in Georgia and federally for this.
Do you think there was fraud in the election?
No. But, I mean, also the 62 lawsuits that the Trump campaign filed also didn't think there was fraud in the election. Nor did the state officials that he contacted to try and decertify their election results. They didn't think that their elections were stolen either.
So it's more of like you're not. Yeah, that's why you're voting Harris more because you disagree with Trump more. Is that why?
Well, it's because I think that it's very important that our country stays a democracy, and I don't like that the major Republican candidate right now tried to violate our democracy. And if anybody in the chat thinks I'm wrong, feel free to come up and correct me on any of this. It's all very publicly available. You can read the Eastman Memo. You can see the false electorate slates that they tried to send in. There's text messages saying that the people were trying to hand deliver these electors to Mike Pence because they couldn't officially submit them because they weren't certified by the government. We even have tweets on January 5th from Donald Trump asking Mike Pence to decertify certain electors, something that he doesn't have the power to do. He also tried to pressure his DOJ to send a letter to Georgia saying that their election was stolen, even though the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General told him that that's not within the scope of the DOJ's power and that they hadn't found any fraud in Georgia.
Okay. I mean, if that's how you feel, hey, you know what? I ain't gonna hold it against you. Oh, you got something to say on it, Pete?
Nah, I'm just listening, man. I'm just soaking it all in right now.
Yeah, I'm soaking in because hey, if that's his truth, you feel me? That's his truth. That's what he's saying. Harris is the best candidate. You know, we gonna see.
And let me be clear. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good, because I already made my decision, but I want to hear from everybody else's perspective. Why do you vote for her? Like, I could give you so many reasons not to vote for her, but I don't know if that would really do a difference for you, but
At this rate, probably not. But I want to be clear that I'm not even coming down on any Trump supporters for not knowing about any of this, because I think that the news media did a really bad disservice on not reporting almost any of this, or not reporting this any of this on like a high scale. But this is what he got indicted for. If you read the federal indictment filed by Jack Smith, it lays all of this out in pretty excruciating detail, and we're going to get a big evidence drop on that on September 26th, I think. So it's all out there. I can understand why people don't know a whole ton about it, because not a whole ton of people talk about it. But I think that should be almost everything that anybody's talking about, because if you truly do love this country, I think that we should really embrace the thing that we founded this country on, which is not having a king and having a democratic process and having
Incorrect. We was never supposed to be a democratic. We were never supposed to have a democracy. It was always a republic. This was a place for you to have your own sovereignty. So don't we were never supposed to have a democracy. We were never supposed to have a democracy. In the Constitution, it does not say nothing about a democracy. I want to correct you before you go too deep.
He's absolutely right.
A direct republic is still a democratic process.
It's called a constitutional
democratic
republic,
process
guys.
just means that you're voting on your people.
It's called a constitutional republic, and he's absolutely right.
Correct.
Are you saying that the U.S. does not have a democratic process?
No, but I'm saying you're based on a constitutional republic.
Every state has its own constitution.
That's fine, but it's still a democratic process.
So are you voting for Kamala?
Yeah.
And why?
Because I don't want to vote for someone who tried to subvert the democratic process.
Why are you voting for Kamala? Don't do the down talk to Trump.
Or voting for her because she has better policies.
Really?
Because
What are her policies?
if there's two
That's
feasible
25.
options
I would love to
and
know
one
what
tried
her
to overthrow
policies
the
are.
government, then I'm
I
going to
would
vote for the
love
other
to
one.
know. We would all love to know what her policies are.
Let me ask him a
her
question. He
policies
said
are-
Trump
her
wasn't
policies
democratic. You think the way Kamala was picked to be candidate, was that pretty democratic to you?
I think whenever a president steps down, his delegates can endorse whoever they want. That is part of the process that the DNC lays out. There was nothing
The most
against their
unpopular
policy in
vice
there.
president in the history of America got nominated.
So,
Even though she didn't receive a single primary vote?
violated? Can you tell me what law the DNC violated?
We didn't say that she violated a DNC law. We didn't say that.
Okay, so what I'm saying
We're
is
just
that
saying
Why so
y'all
defensive?
didn't have the right to pick. That's what we're getting at.
Why so defensive?
it was because it was a fully legal process, and what Donald Trump did
We didn't-
was,
hey, we didn't question
was
that.
breaking federal law.
You seem to be defensive, and nobody questioned that.
I'm not defensive. I'm explaining the difference. It's
No,
weird
you
to
were very
compare
defensive
something.
when I asked you the question.
It's weird to compare something that is
Chuck,
fully
in the
within
comments,
DNC policy
Trump is not
to
going
trying
down.
to
He's
violate
winning the
federal policy,
swing
federal
states
law.
right now.
He's actually losing on the polls.
No, he's actually winning most swing states right now.
He's losing on the polls. That's
Where does it show he's losing? Where can I look at that?
Yeah, post
I'll
the
put it up.
evidence of that.
I'll pull it up.
What polls are we looking at?
Oh, wow, you gonna say they're biased?
So Jay, why are you voting for Kamala? That's what let's ask him.
You want the ethical character, the fact that she has a better ethical, moral character, or her policies?
Ethical? No, not her policies, dude. Fuck the ethical stuff.
Okay,
That's what
let's
they
talk about the
told me.
policies. I just asked if you.
We're asking you. We're asking
Yeah, I just
you.
gave
What
you
are
an
her
option.
policies?
Like we could talk about her policies.
What are her
Let's keep it
policies?
on
You talk about the
policies.
policies. Hey, guys.
Let me ask him a question real quick, Jay. Yeah, were you watching the Oprah thing and Kamala tonight?
No.
Okay, in the debate, Kamala said she wasn't coming after her guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why tonight she said that she's for a assault rifle ban? He's gonna take our guns. Why did she flip so fast?
Are assault rifles the only guns that are available?
No,
Nobody said that, right?
It's pretty clear
On
that
our
when she
answer.
says it's pretty clear that when she says I won't take your
Yeah,
guns,
like assault.
not just a specific subsect of guns.
Well, and I'm just saying in the debate she said guns, right? She didn't say assault rifles or assault weapons. She just said guns.
You're right. So when she says,
buyback
"I'm not
is
going to
only
take your
about assault
guns,"
So
rifles.
whenever somebody says we're not going to take your guns,
But
that's all guns, right?
the assault rifle is only the buyback is about assault rifles. It's not about all guns.
now if she said in the debate, "I won't take your assault rifles," and then she came out and said
She's
this,
the
then that would be
flip-flop
different.
queen.
But
She said
I'm
no
just saying she
fracking,
said
too.
guns, right? If we're talking about guns, it's all guns.
No, the buyback is on assault rifles. It's not on all guns.
So why didn't she specify that in the debate stage? Why did she say guns? Like, guns in
And
general.
let me make another point, guys. She's the flip-flop queen. Her policies before and after are totally different.
that's because whenever you find new
mean
info,
like,
you don't stick to a policy like
Be in
it's a
there
cult.
now. She can do something now.
Like what specifically?
Everything she's talking about,
How?
she can start
Because-
running towards it, making shit happen.
But
I know
how is she gonna? Hold on. What power does she has as a vice president that she could just do to make to
Not a
what
vice
what?
president
but-
no more.
She is
But-
the vice
Don't
president.
step down.
So-
Remember?
Joe stepped down.
No,
Yeah,
Joe-
Joe stepped
Joe-
down from re-election. He didn't step down
Yeah.
as the president. Joe Biden
Joe is still the
the president.
president.
He should.
and
He
see
should
this,
step down.
hey,
He's a
but that's
fucking
the
zombie.
see. I'm telling y'all. Listen, this is the crazy part about it, Steve. Listen, Steve, think about it, bro.
God.
The Democrats did this on purpose, right? Biden been ill before he even got elected. That
Agreed.
man's been in the basement for 3 years. They
Agreed.
planned for this to happen. Listen. If Kamala
Still
had the
Trump.
same, nah. If Kamala got in office at the beginning when Biden got in office, if she even got picked, she would have went down. She would have got impeached in the first year of her being in office.
Why are you
She wouldn't even
speculating-
made it. So,
why are you
so they
speculating about? Why are you speculating about Kamala Harris getting impeached when the only president between the two that got impeached twice was Donald Trump?
Yeah, in the court in the court of
Yeah.
Democrats, man. Come on.
It's easy to say like he would be impeached, but he was actually impeached.
But I get what y'all saying, but I'm saying like I don't think. Well, I might be using the wrong word. I don't think she would have lasted a year because she would have made us get into war with some country. She don't even know. Like I don't see like nah man. She ain't right.
I feel
That's
like-
the rotten apple on the tree.
Dude, I agree 110%.
I feel like we give Trump way too much credit for his foreign policy when all his foreign policy really did was kick the can down the road. He didn't do anything super substantial in regard to foreign policy
You
anyway.
had no wars during the
He
Trump
did
era.
something
Yes,
simple.
we
What
did.
did he do? What did
I
he do?
said people get out
Listen,
of jails.
But
I've
What,
seen
what
people
diplomacy
open up
did he?
businesses.
What did he do for the Donbass
But you
war?
had
for
you had
example?
no foreign wars during.
Yes, we
What did
did.
Trump
We had
do
no
to settle the
Yes, we
Donbass war?
did.
What did Trump do to settle the war in the Donbass in Ukraine between Ukraine and Russia? What did Trump do to do it about any of that?
I mean, hey, listen, hey, look, I bet you he had to sit down with him and said, look, this is what we gonna do. We gonna work out a business deal.
It
See,
didn't get
no, I think it's that simple because
But what
war's
happened
still
to-
going
what
on,
happened to
though.
he
not
ain't
having-
trying to. I don't feel
what
like
happened to
Trump
not
is that
having
type.
wars? What
I
happened to
feel
not
like
having
Trump
wars?
is not the leader that's gonna come over there and push an agenda on another country. He gonna say, "Hey, how
Really?
can we work?"
So,
But we
Yeah.
can't- we can't-
so
we can't
tariffs
give
not
him-
pushing an agenda on the country.
We can't give Trump
I mean,
credit for credit for no war when there was a war under his watch and he didn't do anything about it.
But listen. The tariffs is just like this, right? I'm selling you something for. Just imagine me and you doing something, right? I'm selling you something for 10. You selling it for 50. And I find out you selling what I'm selling you for 10 for 50. Why not put a tariff on you? I need to up my price. That's all it is, bro. That's the same thing as if China is doing this on their end and they making 500%. Shoot, if they got that up, why can't I do that? So
Because it's
that's
gonna
all
cause
Trump.
it's gonna cause the prices of the goods to go up. Like let me break it down for you, right? So if you raise the cost of doing business, a business owner is gonna try to offset that cost. They're either gonna do it by downsizing and or raising the cost of the goods to make up for the loss in profit that was caused by the rise in the cost of doing business. So like when you put
Why is it going to affect the American business owners though?
I'll tell you, if you raise the price of doing business, like raising these tariffs, like he He's constantly
You know,
saying he's gonna do.
you know who the tariffs are for?
It's for foreign countries.
Exactly.
Yes. So raising the tariffs, like he said he's gonna do,
As he should.
they're gonna try to offset those costs, and they're gonna raise their prices to make up for the loss in profit because he just raised the price of doing business. That's
But that's
directly going to lead to
You
the
wouldn't
price
buy from
increasing.
them. You
Hey,
wouldn't
let me
buy
say
from
this.
them.
That's the whole point of the fracking and keeping things in house. We don't have much time or opportunity or anything left to be helping out others and doing all this.
We lead the
Are,
world
are you
in oil
happy? Are you
production.
happy that Biden is doing the most domestic oil production right now of
Yeah.
any president ever? Are you
We
happy
lead
about
the
that?
world in oil production.
What?
We
You
lead
know,
the world
I
in oil
talk to these
production.
people in other countries that tell what's going on and hate Biden because of the trading between the weapons and how they upped on their black markets, like real people. I played the game with these people from other countries and they tell me these things.
What that got to do with fracking?
The whole point of the fracking is there is no trading between them if we
There
have
is. We
If we
lead.
have
We
it at
lead
home,
the.
we
We
don't
lead
have
the
to go
world.
through
We
their
lead the
oil.
world in oil production. We account for 20% of the world's oil refinement.
Well,
Like
Biden is also
we're selling oil.
Biden has also hit historical highs in domestic oil production. He's done more than Trump. He's done more than Bush. He's done more than anybody else. So if we're gonna vote for Trump for domestic oil production, why aren't we happy with Biden for doing the exact same thing?
Nobody's talking about Biden, bro, because we're choosing between Kamala and Trump.
Exactly. So let's talk
But
about Kamala.
wasn't Kamala one to ban fracking?
No, did she say that in the debate?
She did say that. I'll give you that. She did say that.
She did say that.
She
You want
said
to
that
hear
in
it?
2020. What did she say in the debate?
He said that in the debate.
So she's
She did
flip
not say
flopping
that
on a
she
lot
wants
of
to
her
ban
things,
fracking
right?
in the debate.
So she's flip flopping with a lot of her policies, right?
She's updating her policies from 4 years ago.